Incredible greetings. Hello, hello, hello. I know I said I was going home, but then I remembered I have to go get the little one. And I didn't want to come back. I forget that the kids are actually back at school right now. So I have to stay on this end until at least 5:30. So I have about a good hour of time left before I can go pick up um what is it? Before I can go pick up Zanimani. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do a quick video on sublimation. Is it hard to learn some of the things that you should know about sublimation and things of that nature? Okay, since I have to be here until 5:30 anyway. So let's see here. Switch accounts. There we go. And, oh Lord, I got to put a thumbnail on that. Sometimes I just want to kind of get going, but I just looked at the thumbnail that YouTube has, and I definitely need to put a thumbnail on that. It got me looking kind of crazy. Very, very crazy. You're new to this. Hello, Tina. Welcome. You're in the perfect place to kind of get some of those beginner kinks out of the way and understand just what the process is. So you're definitely in the right place. If you have an hour of time, I'm going to spend the next hour until it's time for me to go get my little, or actually a little under an hour. So it's time for me to go get my little one to talk to you guys about sublimation and whether or not it's easy to learn and some of the things that you should know about sublimation. Okay. Incredible afternoon. What am I doing now? What am I looking for? Oh, my Facebook page. Oh my God, those are so beautiful. Those are so beautiful. Oh wow, those are gorgeous, honey. Oh wow. Those are pretty. Someone made some stained glass images. I mean, they are square, so they're not going to be great for like tumblers and things, but they are so super pretty. Okay, so let me get off of that before I get distracted by that. And we're going to come back over here. Let me hit go live on that. Ooh, excusez-moi. Okay, where is my current broadcast? Where is my current one? There we go. Edit audience, public, save. Hey, hey, crafty diva, how art thou? Share option, share to a group. Okay, there we go. Oh, shoot. Hold on real quick, y'all. I just realized my phone is about to go dead. It was doing that earlier. I mean, I forgot to plug it up. Let me go grab my phone. Please hold. Need my charger. Please hold. All right. Get my charger. Okay. And bam. There we go. Now it won't hang up on y'all. Oh, thank you. I forget the guy's name. Oh, Mr. Maine. This shirt is probably about 3 years old. Yeah, this shirt is probably about two or 3 years old because I got this from Mr. Maine's group. Well, not from the group, from his website a few years ago. All right, so let's see, where were we? Ooh, hola from Maui. Hello, hello. Incredible greetings, incredible greetings. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, city girl. I said, period. Just logged out from work. Hello, Miss C. How are you? And hello to everyone over here. So let's get into this. Like I said, I only have until like 5:30. I want to make sure that I'm like out of here no later than like 5:35, 5:40, because I don't want him to be the last person again. So, and because they have to be picked up by 6. But I also don't like waiting in that line when you go like right at like they start letting you pick them up at 5:30. So if you go there right at that time, that line is so long. So I like to be able to get there like between 5:45, 6 o'clock. So I have to wait in that line. So you guys have me until that time. All right. One of my main creative goals this year is to get everything I need to start to sublimate. Okay. Oh, I want to go to Maui. I think we all do. Okay, let me introduce myself. I am Shakia Lavelle, also known as Shakia the Professor. Kind of got coined that name because of the amount of research that I do, right? So I love teaching. I love everything about like being creative, crafty type things, anything printers. Ink, I geek out on, which is why there's such a big emphasis in our brand name, honestly speaking, and it has the ink. It's just something about it, like me learning about, like just knowing and researching screen printing ink, like inkjet print, inkjet ink, and knowing the differences between dye ink, sublimation ink, eco solvent ink. I mean, hell, even DTF, so the DTG printers, sublimation ink. I love any and everything within the print industry. Everything from posters to photographs to stickers to chip bags. Like that is my happy place. I can really geek out and talk about all the inks, the different, like how they print differently, the different medias. That is my specialty. All right. That's kind of where, like I said, the name came from. And just honestly speaking, I just do a lot of research. I take a lot of notes and I go deep into it. I'm also kind of a bit of a science and a math nerd. So just because of my level of like just research and just being a great instructor, especially for newbies, hence the professor. Oh my gosh. Please hold. My husband is, I really hate the fact that, okay, I have no idea what he's talking about. I sent him the freaking code. Like it's sent at 4:36. Okay. Sorry about, oh, my mouth was looking all crazy. Sorry about that. Now he just threw me all off. My husband, he was asking me for something that I sent at 4:36. But yeah, hence the professor. Our company. Okay. Our company is HS Ink 365. Our product line is honestly speaking. So there's a play on words. It's a play on words with I and K in it, but it's pronounced speaking. Most of those who've known me for a while know that I come on here. I kind of, I speak with a lot of passion. I'm gonna put it that way. I know sometimes it can come off rough to some folk because I speak with so much passion about this industry, just in creating a business from this, like going from just something that you do as a hobby, having it be like a little side hustle so you can make some, like I always say, mad money because I like that movie. And then turn it into a full-fledged business. And each and every person that learns any part of creating custom items or just making custom apparel, making custom cups, you are not limited to what you can do in your space. It's setting the foundation because this industry truly is a multi $1 billion industry when you're talking about it as a whole with just making custom shirts. The way shirts in general are made, if you go into any store right now and you look at shirts, we on the smaller in-home craft level, we're making shirts the exact same way, right? The principle of how to make them is the exact same way. The methods end up being a little bit different. They're going to be able to use equipment that's going to be able to like you're going to be able to mass produce it. But you can learn it here, and then you can learn about bigger and better, more industrial, commercial like printers and heat presses and all sorts of things. So if you desire for your side hustle to become a business, to become an empire, you just have to put in the work to know how far and like how wide this industry goes. There's so many different ways to make a lot of custom items. I'm not gonna say we specialize in sublimation because I actually teach any and everything that you can think of. However, for us, our first product line was sublimation paper and then sublimation ink. Well, kind of like at the same time. At some point, we will explore, other things that fall within like this whole creative space. So we do a lot of teaching and training on sublimation because it goes hand in hand with our actual physical product. So we have classes on just about everything else, but physical products, we have the best, most incredible, cost efficient, hassle-free, game-changing paper that allows you to sublimate 365 degrees, 30 seconds. No butcher paper is required. And although sublimation in of itself is very eco-friendly, it's non-toxic, there is no harm in unless you maybe have like some health issues yourself. But sublimation just in general is not something that is toxic. It's actually very eco-friendly. So I sublimate my tumblers in the oven. Even if it's subbed out, and let's say that sublimation ink or that gas coming out could somehow get and be stuck inside the oven, right? With our paper, because the lining or the way that our paper is constructed, nothing comes out the back of it. If you've watched videos, if you've seen things in groups, and you've seen people do actually like pressing their items and they're showing like the whole process, you'll see them put butcher paper or parchment paper on top of things. You'll see them wrap it. Even if you put shrink wrap on their tumblers, once it's subbed, you end up seeing that image because it gases off the back. Whereas with our paper, nothing comes out of the back of it. All of your ink, all of your gases goes towards your substrate, which makes it a very, very efficient paper. You're not wasting any of the gases that, ends up being the color on the garment or the substrate. None of it is going out the back. All of it is coming this way, which means you can save on ink. A lot of the times with other papers, they are using premium presentation paper matte because half the ink is coming out of the back. We use plain paper, bright white setting, set to the highest possible quality because those are two different settings. And with doing that, you're going to still get amazing full saturation of colors. Okay, full saturation of colors using that lower ink setting. Because all of the gases are going towards your substrate, all you need is a little bit of ink and you're going to get great results. So if you have not checked out our products, head on over to our website, shop.hsink365.com, and check out, the prices for our paper. We carry 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 14, 11 by 17, 13 by 19 in fast dry and tacky. I'm waiting for the email because our rolls, I was told via email that they were due to arrive to the port today. So they probably have arrived. They may not have gotten the notification that it's there. So I'm hoping by tomorrow we get the notification that our rolls. It was a pre-order. We did order a few. So once you guys see that it's on the site and you want to get rolls, especially for grad season, for the stoles and things of that nature, make sure you are ordering early. Go to the website, go to the rolls, and put on there that you want to be notified when they restock, because we only ordered a small amount over the pre-order. We're actually doing another one. This one was kind of a headache. So we're planning to do another pre-order in like this month, but we're waiting for that one to come in because it's been a nightmare with this last order with like the shipping of it. But definitely be on the lookout for that. All right. Like I said, we teach Silhouette Studio. I've been teaching Silhouette Studio for 9 years now. On our YouTube, on our Facebook. It is a great program for beginners. Whether you're doing sublimation, if you want to create stickers, you want to create party favors, invitations, it doesn't matter. You can create so many different things utilizing Silhouette Studio. It's absolutely free to use. Now, there are upgrades to it. You don't have to do those upgrades if you're not, if those additional features are not super important to you. But the business edition is well worth the $50 that you will pay one time to have business edition for forever, right? So you can definitely check that out. There is a link on our website to be able to upgrade to the business edition if you have the free version of Silhouette Studio. And then we have 365 Creative Academy, where we help you to unlock your creativity in a wide variety of trainings, everything from our sublimation crash course, Essential to Silhouette Studio. We've done classes for chip bags, vectors, memorials, and so much more. Photoshop, just a little bit of everything. In this live training, we're going to talk a little bit about sublimation. Is it easy to get into, easy to learn? Is it complicated when it comes to the printers and all that good jazz? If you have any questions, I encourage you to put them in the comment section. That way I can go back to them. You don't have to wait until like I finish one thought and then post your question. The more questions that are already queued up in the chat section, the better, because then I can touch all of those points, okay? So let's see. All right, so come on over. Please like the video. Thank you. I'm not sure if there was another part to it. It just says like Valentine's. I'm not sure there's another part to that. Hello, through all, I made it. K2 Creations. Hey. I'm not sure if I missed anyone because it's so hard trying to like keep an eye on here. And then sometimes it'll say it's a new message, but it's just telling me that somebody's joined. So if you did personally say hello, I'm not ignoring you. Hello. All right. So let's get into this because it is now 4:55. So we got about a good 30, 35, 40 minutes. All right. Do you have Zoom classes for Silhouette Studio? I sure do, Charlene. We actually had our first refresher session on Friday, which the playback is in the on your dashboard. So we have what's called Essentials to Silhouette Studio, Learn Silhouette Studio in 30 days. That's like our foundation. It's almost like your workbook. I went through like almost every part of Silhouette Studio in March of 2022, and you can now still purchase that. And what we did was, like, for a whole year, for the rest of 2022, for all of 2023, I never did another live Zoom. So this year we decided to bring the Zooms back. So it's still for anyone that purchased it. You don't have to repurchase it or anything like that. So anyone that purchased it from March 2022 up until now, until whenever, we're doing the first quarter and we're doing a refresher. And then the third quarter, we're doing another refresher. Like for any new people, I mean, you can come if you want, but it's going to pretty much be the same information each time that we do it. Every other quarter, we will end up doing Zoom sessions. So we do it via Zoom. You have unlimited access to playbacks. It is that's what I need as a starter. Yes, and we go through the why, not just the how. So I teach you why these tools work the way they do, how they work with each other. Why would you do X, Y, and Z? Like, why does something have to be to the front, to the back, like for subtract or crop and all that kind of good jazz? Why do you have to set up your text this way, align, blah, blah, blah. All, like, we teach you the why, not just the how. It's amazing. So you can go to the website, shop.hsink365.com. The link is in the bio. And you're going to scroll and you're going to look for Essentials to Silhouette Studio. And that's the one you want to enroll in. I didn't retitle it yet. Yeah, I haven't retitled it yet. I had to do some stickers. I had to do some decals for someone, and I had a couple orders. Some people came and picked up some local orders for sublimation paper and ink. So I had to fulfill those because I'm the only one that's here. My husband is like the other location. So I had to do those. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I might as well wait for the little one. So let me just go live again. I'll probably do it sometime when I'm home. Oh, you're going to send it to someone. Okay. Let's see. All right, hold on. I see one here. Hola, question. I'm interested in your classes, but I've been doing sublimation for over 2 years, but barely breaking into it. I'm more of an intermediate advanced user. Which class would you recommend? So is it really the sublimation part that you're having an issue with, or is it designing? So I'm going to get into like sublimation. Is it easy to learn? In all actuality, sublimation is one of the easiest process. It's literally as, what's my girl Javaya, which I know she technically learned someone else, but she would always say, you know, oh God, how does Javaya say it? Print, press, profit. I know she learned it in a class, but I wasn't in that class, so I always hear her say it. Print, press, and then she'll say profit if you are trying to basically make money from it. But it's literally print, press. Like, as far as sublimation, that's really all it is, especially when you're using art paper, because we take the guesswork out. Almost everything that you can think of that can go on a flatbed press, except for slate, ceramic, glass, and my really thick awards, and of course acrylic. Everything else, I use one temperature. The only thing that fluctuates is the pressure, depending on how thick or thin the substrate is, and whether or not you're using a pressing pillow, like for added pressure for things like onesies and things like, you know, items like that. But as far as temps and time, once you dial in, once you dial in the perfect temp and time for your heat press, that's all you have to ever worry about. Like, so on mine, I love my Hottronics. Well, y'all can't see it over there, but like my Hottronics, I'm gonna turn it around so you can see it. So my Hottronics Fusion IQ, it has like, okay, wait, because see, for y'all, I'm pointing to it. Y'all can't see it, so it's kind of weird. But with that one, what I love about it is I can dial in a bunch of presets. So when I want to go sublimate, I go to the one that says HSINK365 30 seconds. I put it on that, and I can go from mouse pad to a mask to socks. I mean, I didn't do this one, but technically, like, this headband is nothing but polyester material. It is sublimated and then sewn. So if you are somebody that can sew, like, you literally, hey, for all those people that like headband wigs, you can create you a whole business if you know how to sew. I know some people that do bonnets and do custom bonnets, and they sublimate them and then they sew them together. So if you know how to make a good headband, you can sublimate fabric and you can make custom. You can do any print. So this is sublimation. Oh wait, where's my box go? You can do things like rags. I normally used to have it right here, and Danny told me to make sure that I have me like a little stand or a box so that when I'm trying to find stuff, I can find it. Yet I never listened to, I never listened. I had my little box here with all of my stuff in it. Hold on, because it was right in front of me. Did I put it in the closet? I probably trapped it in the closet. Hold on. Now, what did I do with my little box? Ain't this about a lamp? What did I do with my little box? It had it's right behind me. Duh. All right. I got my little box of goodies. Do you have a snow globe tumbler for purchase? We don't sell blanks at this time, so I do not have any blanks. All right. So shirts, can you end up doing an all over shirt even with a small setup at home? Yes, but I don't like doing them. I mean, this may look like it looks good. I mean, it is good, but it's too many variables. I definitely don't like doing those. You have can coolers that can be sublimated. If you use things like laminate, you can paint and then do, this is sublimation onto laminate. All right, where are my, this was like a little teddy bear shirt. So especially for like baby shower stuff for babies and custom bears, gender reveals, you can put like their birth stats on it. So there's like no limit to the things that you are able to do. If you are someone that, you know, your market is making things for baby announcements, now it opens up. Like, you don't have to do a lot of vinyl. You can put that on just about anything, sublimate things like bookmarks. I'm like, I used to have all that stuff over here. I definitely have to now go back through and put all of my stuff back in my bin, because I've taken them out. I'm always showing them in different classes, different live videos. But I've had, there's a video where I sublimated like 13 different things. Bookmarks, puzzles, business cards, like all sorts of things. Like, there's no limit. And all of that, 365, 30 seconds. You're not limited. So it's just literally print and press. If it's thin, you know, adjusting your pressure, it doesn't have to be heavy. It has to be firm. That's the only thing that fluctuates, because you will have to. So there's no height, like a standard one to say, oh, this is medium. This is like light pressure. This is medium pressure. This is, you know, heavy pressure. There's nothing. It always changes based off of the substrate. Something can be really thin and you need to have it be closer to it. The next thing might be thicker. You're going to have to adjust your pressure up so that now just has, you know, just leveled, even pressure. It doesn't have to be heavy pressure. So that's going to be really your only variable, especially if you're using our paper. Our paper takes the guesswork out. It doesn't matter what the substrate says. So you might order something from somewhere and it's going to tell you 400 degrees for 60 seconds. Don't do it. Never, ever, ever will you have to be anywhere near 400 degrees. Never will you have to press over maybe 40 seconds when you're using our paper, whether you're using a heat press or an easy press. Things like that would be the hard part. You know, your heat press. Is it a good heat press? Is it one where it doesn't rebound to the heat? Back to the heat as fast. Is it even pressure? Does it have cold spots? Those are things to where you're going to have to really listen in and take notes about what's the difference between using quality equipment versus one where it's like, okay, I just want the cheapest thing possible. I don't know if I want to do this. I just want the cheapest thing. A lot of the times, once you get into it and you find that you like it, some of that equipment can be inadequate. And that's going to be your biggest hurdle, is trying to figure out the right equipment. You have some heat presses where you'll dial in 365, but you have to use a temp gun to temp it and see, is it actually outputting 365 plus or minus 2 degrees? Or is it plus or minus like 10, 15 degrees? You have it set to 365, but it has cold spots or it doesn't heat up as well. So it might actually only be outputting 355, 345. Or it can be one where it's overheating and you have your dial set to 365, but you go and use a temp gun and it's outputting 385, 400, well, that's kind of a big jump, but like 375, 385. So you want to have a temp gun to test it. Sublimation is really easy as long as you do the like the preliminary stuff, making sure that you're checking your temperature, like with a temp gun, to know what the output of your heat press is. If it's outputting 10 degrees higher, you set your temperature to 10 degrees lower. So if you want 365, but it runs 10 degrees hotter, you may have to set your heat press to 355. Make sense? But once you dial it in and let's say you figure out for shirts, it's going to be that way for literally every single thing, except for slate, ceramic, glass, acrylic, and thick wood pieces. Okay. All right, so there's nothing over there. If it reverted back, just go ahead and reactivate it. That's all. Okay, so for designing, so that has nothing to really do with like, being a beginner in sublimation. There's a lot, I had a lot of people in our Essentials of Silhouette studio who had been using it for 12 years. And I still taught them a lot within Essentials of Silhouette studio. Even if you've been using it for a while, you've been doing some basic designs. If you've never really dived into really mixing a bunch of functions and knowing how you have to set it up, going into a more advanced design class. So we do have the bachelor's and master's program coming up. The bachelor's is going to be beginner friendly type designs that you can do really easy, but still make an impact. And then our master's is going to be where you're really putting in a lot of different elements, sending things to the back, bringing it to the front, moving it here, cropping this, subtracting that, doing, it's like certain like illusions that you kind of create. So it ends up being a lot of steps to create these unique designs. So the master's program will be for that. But with our masters, I do not go over any like breakdowns. So if someone comes in there and they're like, oh, well, what's the difference between make compound path and subtract? I don't answer those questions. We're going in, we're talking about advanced designs and concepts, layouts, about choosing the right fonts, how to match the right type of images to where you're not mixing ones that are watercolor and then ones that are like really solid colors, or they're like line art, like how to really make everything cohesive. I'm focusing on that. I will not be going over anything basic. That's what 30 days is for. Nothing, not going over anything basic. So you can take a 30-day training, because I promise you, you'll definitely learn more than what you think that you know. Try out some of the design challenges to see if those were like easy for you. Like, hey, I know how to do this, because then that'll make like your next move, as far as like our trainings, a little bit easier to kind of navigate and know which one that you're going to need. So as far as like designs, there's so many different things for designs. I don't teach designing based off of a print method, because you really can design like anything that you can design for one, you can design for something else. The only thing that's kind of unique when it comes to sublimation is, I like designs like this where you want it to be where it's not inside of a box. But if you're designing something for like a tumbler, it has a defined template to it. I can design for a yard sign. I can use that same design for sublimation. Even on a shirt, it's just that shirt's going to have a box. And it's not that having a box is a bad thing. I actually have a video that I recorded in Walmart. There is some shirts from Snoop Dogg. And one of his shirts is literally, it feels like Jet Pro 3G. Or it probably is something like Caesar Color Print Easy. But it's a big box on the front of this shirt. And I'm like, so many people don't want to like do that. They're like, it's like they feel like, I want to do sublimation. I want to do this because that's cheap. That's not quality. I don't want to sell that to my customers. But here is this Snoop shirt, and it literally is a box, and it feels like plastic, like a big piece of vinyl on the front. So you can technically still have that whole box look. Everything doesn't have to be distressed or blended off. But if that's the look that you're going for, you got to know what tools you have to use to be able to accomplish that. I recommend that everyone does the 30-day training, because it's going to set the foundation. It's your ultimate video reference guide. But design-wise, I don't have anything that is specific to like just sublimation. I just teach designing. The graduation vest that I did, I literally using the same techniques. That's about just learning design, because there's nothing. I added a background, I added the images to it. I'm adding words. I might add like a text effect, like an outline. I'm doing a bunch of different offsets. So you have to know what offsets are. You have to know how to crop. You have to know how to edit things down using edit points. But there's no like specific way of designing that. I had the template. I do teach about kind of creating templates. Now, that particular one was a little bit unique. I can either have it really, really exact or not quite exact when I am doing that to get the outline, but I just end up putting that on. I showed how I make a template for my tumbler is the same way I make a template for the vest. It's getting the shape, and there's a couple different ways. I teach templates in the 30-day training. You're going to get that. You're going to put an offset for the bleed. You're going to put an internal offset for the safe zone, and you're just going to start to design in there. And you can either leave, stuff hanging off the side and print it that way, or you can learn to crop it. You just crop it down, and it's one nice, it's all cropped inside, and then you just print it and press it. That's it. I like sublimation on aluminum, doing some nice pictures. I'm doing good, just trying to figure these tumblers out. So what issues are you having with the tumblers? Can you show us what you check your heat press with? Oh, sure. You are very welcome. Yes, that's exactly what I'm looking for, designing, not just for sublimation. Yes, the 30-day training is available right now. We have a Q&A session on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the live Zoom training is on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let me show you what you will need to tip check. And I say that, and now I don't see it. Now, normally it sits right here. It sits at my heat press. So now that you asked for it, I can't find it. It literally sits right here. Okay, I will just go to, oh, look, here's some metal. I'll go to Amazon, but it's just an infrared heat gun. It's, unless my husband took it, because it's his Ryobi one. My husband is addicted to all things Ryobi. All right, I will just go to, because I don't see it, I'll just go to the website. I'll just Google. So let me share my screen, and I will Google infrared heat gun. And put this over here. And present. And there's also a surface probe. That's going to be a little bit more accurate, but for the average crafter, this one is just fine. So I'm going to flip it around so you guys can see. So it's just a temp gun. There's a bunch of different ones. No, not one is better than the other. They basically do the same thing. Some they will say might be a little bit more accurate, but you can just get you a little cheapy one. Home Depot, Amazon, but just some will say thermometer or heat gun. That's all you're looking for. Okay. Hey, Miss Deidre. My image is set to 8.23 in height, 9.3 width, and the printer is printing less than 8 inches. Where are you designing at? That, again, this is the hardest part, right, of sublimation is what are you using to print, to size and print? Are you designing, sizing, and printing from Silhouette Studio? Are you using Canva? Are you trying to print it from a phone, a computer? All of these things are really important. A lot of times we're asking these questions in the group, and people will just spew out answers and not know exactly what you're printing from. And so that doesn't help you. Like, you have to be very specific in like what you're using. Hello, Barbara. All right. If you're using Silhouette Studio, as long as you have it sized up, you're printing it that way, it should not be an issue. The only thing that will probably cause an issue, if you go to more options, if you have it scale where it says like fit to page, or if you try to do borderless, that's going to change the size. You don't want any scaling on it whatsoever. Like, you want it just nothing. You want it to print as is, and it should not change the size of it. All right. So let me get back into this because we're now down to about 10 minutes. There's so many advantages to sublimation. I know a lot of people get into it because they're like, oh, I was making shirts more. I'm overweeding. I just want to do sublimation. Or maybe they were doing mugs and they were cutting adhesive vinyl, putting it on there. If you have really thin letters, like for the word bride, someone's name, it's a script font, those can come off, right? Because you're technically not supposed to you don't have to seal vinyl. I absolutely hate it when people give misinformation and they will say stuff like, use Mod Podge to seal your adhesive vinyl. Hold on one second. They'll say use Mod Podge. That does nothing to seal it because it's not encapsulating it. The only thing that will seal that so that it will not move is going to be that you put an even layer of like epoxy to where it encapsulates it. Mod Podge does not do that. Oh my God. Or they spray it. That does nothing for sealing. You're just putting, and most people aren't even using like the dishwasher safe and stuff like that. They're just putting that over, and then now your customer has to drink from that. If you're not letting it properly cure, it gets wet. That can end up, being all kind of funky. Like, oh my God, that drove me nuts. But sublimation is a great alternative if you're, because you're just using a white mug and you're putting something on it. You now can take that, just print it out. There's no rule that says your sublimation tumblers or your mugs have to be a full wrap. You can have it white and you're just going to put a name on it. Bride, Keisha, Shakia, Glorine, whoever, Cardi, and just put their name on it. It stays white. The name is colored. You can make the name all fancy and put a pattern in it, but there's no rule that says you have to cover the entire thing. I have one that matches this. The whole thing isn't done. I didn't have to worry about a seam. I didn't have to worry about ghosting at the top or bottom. This is actually one of the best ways to start to learn how to do tumblers, is do something where it's not the entire thing. Where is it? This one? Another one where it's not a full wrap. It doesn't have to be a full wrap just because it is sublimation. Oh, that's just a 12-ounce one that's not covered up. The same way that, that we do mugs. So there's a lot, like, that's where that advantage as far as like weeding will come in. It also allows you to do full color graphics, because with vinyl, you can't do that. It's just going to be those solid colors. However you layer them together, that's how you get some dimension and some depth. But with sublimation, you can do a full on graphic, shading, highlights, blurs, fading, like just any and everything with sublimation. So that's one of the big advantages of it. It doesn't limit you as far as the type of design that you can use. But because ink is translucent, you can't take this design, and if this was a blue tumbler or green, my birthstone, if this was a green tumbler, I would not be able to do this because I would not see any of these colors. So while sublimation is great for anything that is white or light or iridescent, anytime you need to do something on like something that's already dark, you can't do that. It's a special coating. You can't take just any tumbler and put sublimation on it. Whereas with vinyl, whether it was made for sublimation or it's a regular tumbler or like a powder coated tumbler, if it's just a regular mug, if it's a regular puzzle, whatever, you're able, well, I wouldn't really put vinyl on a puzzle, but just like the business cards, whatever. If you just kind of wanted this and you wanted to turn this into something, punch a hole in it, just put a name or put something on it, you could do that with regular vinyl. You're just limited in colors. You would never be able to do something like this with vinyl. You can't put pictures. You have to print it out. You can print, and if you use a regular printer, you can print it onto a sticker, because regular ink is going to adhere to a sticker, then you have to cut that out, cut it exact, then take it, put that sticker on top of this. Whereas with sublimation, you can't tell where it begins and ends. It's not topical. It's baked into it. It's subbed into the substrate. So it's going to last a really, really, really long time unless you are really heating it at a high heat to make that gas release again, and then it can kind of blur out. But the color will never fully go away. Everything will just kind of look blurry if you're, reheating it to a high heat. So it's great for things like this. Just not anything color. Whereas, like I said, vinyl can go on anything, any color, any coating, anything. But these have to be coated for sublimation, which means it has a polymer or polyester coating on top of it. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty easy. Figuring out if it's the right substrate. A lot of times we want to get like the things that are least expensive. Someone will see two tumblers from the same company. Sublimation ones tend to cost a little bit more than just the standard ones that are made for glittering or alcohol inks, and you're going to put epoxy and stuff on it. Those are a lot less expensive because of the coating that's on it. So finding the right substrates, if it's not coated, it will still transfer, but it's going to look really, really dull. A lot of people get puzzles. The puzzles, you can always tell that there's sublimation compared to just a regular one because it has like this little sparkle to it. Whereas the regular ones that aren't made for sublimation, they're just kind of glossy. And then if you press it, it's going to be dull. So you're figuring out the right substrates is really the hardest part of sublimation. Oh, okay. Thank you. Let's see. You are very welcome. Let's see, did I miss anything over here? Hello. Welcome into the live broadcast. Remember, guys, you are more than welcome, especially now. I'm still not going to say too long. My mom's going to go get the little one. But okay. Now, you might want to bring him here because you know the daddy going to trip. That's around the corner. You ain't got no car seat. So bring my child here so he can be in the car seat when he go home. Okay? So by the time he gets here, and because she's like they're in line, I'll be leaving like pretty soon after that. He'll probably want to come in here and get on live anyway, but I'll leave that way we can ride home safely. He can be in the car seat. But remember, guys, you can post questions. All right, don't let it be all me talking. Okay, I've been doing this for a long time. Sometimes I do skip over some of the questions that beginners have because I've been doing it for so long. Right, so to me, I have to force myself sometimes to remember some of those simple things. But if you guys post those questions, I got an answer for you. But I need it to come from you guys as the beginner. So do not hesitate to post your questions, post your inquiries. If can I sublimate onto this? Can I sublimate onto that? What's up with my colors? Things of that nature. I subbed on a shirt over white glitter HTV, and then I washed it, and the shirt is faded. The shirt faded or the vinyl faded? Because I've never had the vinyl fade. The print on the white HTV faded? Yeah. Hey, how you take the little red parking brake stuff? Hold on. All right. The sub image faded. Send me a picture. I've actually never had that happen before, and I've made a bunch of them, ones that I have myself. I actually almost wore mine that at the bottom it said Faith, and I sublimated that. Send me a picture. Also let me know like which vinyl you use. Like let me know all of that stuff because I've actually never experienced that. So I wouldn't even be able to tell you what happened because I've literally never ever experienced that. Oh, she threw it away. Yeah. I really would not be able to tell what happened with it. I mean, you can always try it again. Like I do stuff like that all the time. Like I'll take like little sample pieces and I will either, well, this one was showing that you cannot sub. I'm telling y'all, when I have every class is different. The crash course, we didn't necessarily go over things like this. In that one, this was, I think, was this from the seminar? I forget which one, but when I'm able to get like deep into sublimation class and it's like multiple sessions, I want to say the seminar. So you can kind of see here where I was showing them or explaining about dye block migration, where or dye migration, and some things need dye block, like the glitter vinyl, this yellow one, and then this white one. When you put it over sublimation, you're going to be able to see the image come through because there is no dye block. So those gases basically go through when it's heated because it re-releases. So it's all of those little things that come up where if no one has ever mentioned it to you, you just don't know about those things. If you've never heard like in any capacity, it comes up and you start feeling like you did something wrong. That's why I like things like my sublimation seminar, because in that one, because I break everything up, I don't miss the little things. It can be it's information overload, but it's helpful information as long as you're taking notes and it's like stored somewhere in the back of your mind, because this has helped to some people. The other thing with sublimation that becomes a little bit harder, I know we have someone that's new to sublimation. She took our sublimation crash course, and so she ended up posting a few questions about colors, because she had this one image and it was supposed to be purple, but it came out with a lot of pink. Now, troubleshooting, if I see a lot of pink and it's supposed to be purple, my first thing is run a nozzle check. Sidebar, a nozzle check fixes nothing. Okay. So when people are telling you to do a nozzle check, don't think that it's fixing. People are like, oh, well, I did a nozzle check. It didn't fix it. A nozzle check fixes nothing. A nozzle check just prints out directly from your print heads to let you know the state of your print heads. Is something clogged? Is it completely like not printing? Is it breaks in it? Because that's why, like, that'll explain why you're getting the lines. Now, once you go and you're going to say, oh, something is missing, something is broken, and you hit like, okay, because it'll say like, it'll ask the indicator if something's broken, and you hit that, that's no longer a nozzle check. Once you hit like, okay, yes, there's broken lines, or yes, it's missing, it's now doing a print head cleaning. So a nozzle check is not that whole process. A nozzle check is only those lines that print out. And if you tell it it's messed up, it's going to go through a print head cleaning. After the print head cleaning, it automatically prompts you and asks, do you want to do another nozzle check? You will print it out. If it's fixed, hey, the print head did it. If it's not, then you have to now explore other troubleshooting. The maintenance of printers is probably the hardest part of sublimation. But she was asking about like colors. So I asked her, hey, was the... Hi, buddy.
Go to McDonald's for me.
Wait. I don't know why your grandmother promised said, I'm taking you to McDonald's. Your grandma need to take you to McDonald's, and she said that.
I'm going to buy him some McDonald's when you leave.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, she can't tell me to buy. Look, I told you he's going to want to come up here. He pulling all my stuff down. He trying to climb up on the chair. You want to come teach with me?
Yeah.
Okay, come on. We're gonna leave soon, so you can go get your McDonald's that grandma promised you, ma'am. Oh, that was from Wendy's. Y'all see how my mom tried to play me? Gotta come in here and talk about something. Grandma says you're gonna buy me some McDonald's. They don't. Oh, wait. You know what, buddy? Good job. Give me a kiss. What? Guess what, y'all? You know what this is made of? This is sublimation. Plushies, like little stuffed animals and stuff like that, they are made via sublimation, and then this is just cut and sewn together. This is sublimation. Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, hold it up so they can see. Say, this is sublimation.
This is amazing.
Oh, wait, they can't see you here. Show them and say, this is sublimation. No, right here. Say, this is sublimation.
This sublimation is so soft.
Oh, and it's so soft?
Yeah, I could show me in my head.
Oh, okay. He will be the next professor. He absolutely loves this. He comes in here. He wants to hold the mouse and say, okay, guys. He thinks he's always teaching. They say, hey, nephew. Say, hey.
Hey, nephew.
No, they're calling you nephew.
What?
What?
Nephew.
Why? What's? Say it again.
Mama said you're my auntie.
So he will say, he told y'all, my name is not nephew. My name is Animani, even Pericles.
You too, Mom.
Oh, you want to show them your picture?
Yeah, I want to eat you, my snowman.
Oh, that's a snowman?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I don't know what kind of snow y'all use, but okay. All right.
You got me.
All right. Okay, now you got to be quiet, okay? Mommy going to finish so you can go get your McDonald's, okay?
Okay.
Uh-oh. Anyhow, so one of the things, like, so I asked her, was the blue out? And she did an auto check and she said no. So then it comes, to figuring out what's on your screen and then what's going to print out, right? When you're buying a file, you don't know what program they designed in. Case in point, today I had an order for some stickers and some decals. So on screen, it looks red, but because of where she designed it at, which I think was Canva, because it came in like when my sister designed stuff, the colors were off. So when it printed, now my Roland, okay, hold on, buddy. My Roland, I don't use third-party EcoSol ink, but when that printed out, it printed out more of like an orangish tone than it did a red tone, because of how it was made, wherever they got like the color from. It might look red, like look a certain color on your screen, but all monitors are different. If you walk into Best Buy, Walmart, Target, where they have the TVs, the same image can be showing, but because one is a standard TV versus an HD TV versus a 3D versus a UHD versus a 4K, like all these different things is going to affect the way it looks. Is it have backlighting to it? That's going to make things look brighter. So your monitor, how it looks on my screen might look different than it looks on your screen. Our eyes, I have astigmatism. You have some people where, they're like, whether they're colorblind or just have issues with their eyes, certain colors will look different from one person to the next. So it's really hard to match colors exactly as it is on your screen. That's one of the biggest hurdles of any type of print method, is really wanting what's on your screen. The only way for you to guarantee that is to create color profiles for like your screen and how it's going to print out for each printer. There's no such thing as like one color profile. Photographers, or not photographers, those who print out like pictures, who print out photographs, there's different color profiles that they're printing on matte paper versus glossy paper, coated paper versus uncoated paper, satin paper, all these different things. There will be different color profiles for that because the ink interacts with them differently. Then the other thing is print settings, right? This is the hard part, not just for sublimation, but for any type of printing. So a lot of times I will do tests where I will print out in different settings. So this was Adobe RGB Gamma 1.8, automatic, ICM, 1.8 with the took down the saturation because some of it was, I forgot why I adjusted the saturation on that. And I don't know what was the difference in this ICM either. But I print out in different ones. And you can see like automatic, there was way too much pink, too much magenta on this one compared to other places. This is another one, I think, that has different settings. So yeah, all of the ones right here on the side, all done with different print settings. These are tests that if you can, I recommend that you do them like as soon as you get your printer. I know it's like exciting to make your first shirt, make your first tumbler, make your first puzzle, make your first sock, make your first mug, whatever it is. But you want to first print out color charts. Like that's important, whatever your preferred setting is. Or you can print out a color chart in Adobe RGB, Gamma 1.8, and you can also print out one in ICM. I actually have, let's see, this one doesn't say it. Let me see, does this one? So yeah, this one says 7210 or yeah, so that one, and it's ICM. See, this one says ICM. This one says, well, this is an old one and it kind of got reheated, but that'll say, oh, this one doesn't have it. But I know this one, because it's my standard one, is Adobe RGB. But I did not put the Adobe on there. But I will print them out from both settings, because those are the ones that I use. So I know if I'm printing out a picture and I want to kind of match the colors, and I know I'm going to, for the picture to be the best color, I need to print out an ICM. I want my colors to match. If I'm not sampling it from the image, I need my colors to match. So I will look at my color chart that I printed out in ICM to find the right color. That's the part that's the hardest with any print method, but especially sublimation, because sublimation is heat activated. It's not a what you see is what you get type of situation. How it prints and how it subs, two different things. Okay? Really? Shaki is a professional what? I don't know what he's talking about. Actually, let me show you guys something when it comes to the colors. And one of the hangups for a lot of people when it comes to sublimation. Excuse me, buddy. Back up for a second.
What?
Back up for a second.
Aw.
So this is one of the examples that I keep now. This is what sublimation looks like when you first print it out. Okay. And then it's heat activated. I want you to take note of the color around Piglet's head. Okay. Because this is something that foils up a lot of newbies seeing these colors like this, or they'll say, hey, I just printed it out. Why does it look so dull? It's not going to look vibrant. It's not going to look shiny on this at all. This is the same exact print. So this is a sub tumbler. This is the print before. So if you look around Piglet's head, it's actually green. But on here, it looks blue. That's the way sublimation works. It is heat activated. This is the hardest, one of the hardest. I don't say it a couple times, like the color's the hardest part. This is another one of the more difficult concepts to like fully grasp and understand is how different it's going to look. Now you're going to have some prints where although it's dull, it's going to almost look exactly the same. It's not going to be this drastic. But that's a big difference, right? Big, big difference. So you have to be like, if you want to be great at this, you have to be willing to do the testing beforehand. You have to be willing to like really understand this information. I mean, you don't have to learn it beforehand. You don't have to do your testing. You don't have to print out all of your like color charts. In my sublimation seminar, the crash course, I talked about it, but we didn't do it, but the file is there. But in the seminar, we press this together onto like rags. So this is something that I teach from as far as understanding colors and knowing how it prints out. So I provide this particular sheet with all of these different Skittles because there's so many colors. So if your reds end up coming out right, this is going to come out. If you have an EcoTank printer, this most likely won't print out the right way. But especially like your reds, the blues, if they come out right, that then lets you know when you print out something else and it doesn't come out correctly, it's not your printer. It's not your setting. It's the file. A lot of those AI created files can print and sub a totally different like shade of color than what you see on your screen. Okay. That's going to be the hardest part about sublimation. But the process in of itself, pressing it, it's really easy, especially if you're using Honestly Speaking sublimation paper. Okay. Hi, dear new subscriber. Do you have a video explaining like how to add my photos to an image that has a blank space for photos, and also how to change the image in like the messy mom bun image? Yes and no. So I do have one like for Tumblr wraps that have a square. If it's not set up as a PNG to where that's open. So if it's like, it's really hard, and I'm always trying to do different videos. For me, I'm like, I want to teach all of it like in one video instead of breaking apart to where, oh, if you have this type of image, it's like this. If you have this one, I just want to do it in one video. So I want to say there's like 2 videos going over that on Silaholics Anonymous YouTube channel. But it really depends on how the person set it up. If it was saved as a PNG and that part is open, like you can move it around and it's transparent, you put the picture behind it and it just kind of shows in that window. If it's a JPEG and that area is white, then you have to try and trace it or create a square like that's that size, maybe move around your edit points. You're then going to like, you can, once you have that there, you can crop your image to it, or you can subtract that from the background and then put, so it's not one way, right? But this is where the 30-day training, things like that come into play, because you'll start to see, oh, okay, if I make this, like when should I subtract it out? Like in what scenario do I want to subtract it? In what scenario do I want to just leave it in the front and I want to crop my image to it? As far as the messy bun one, if it's not an SVG, it's a little bit harder to change it, because if the original image was like a solid color and it had the black outline, oh, you can do a trace of that area and then you can kind of fill it in. It's better if it's an SVG, but if it's not, you have to do a trace, isolate that area, fill it in with whatever color or pattern, and you're just going to have to make sure that it really, really lines up with what was there originally. So I have technically shown the techniques for that by showing different tools, like showing how to subtract, how to crop, and things of that nature. I'm having trouble trying to get my printer to work. I changed a regular printer to sublimation printer. Can someone help me? If you're on Facebook, that I can't help you on this particular live video, you can always send a message on our like website for your like specific question. I'll see if there's a video that we can send back to you that's going to help you. If you're on Facebook, I highly recommend joining our Facebook group, Honestly Speaking, the best sublimation group on Facebook. That is actually the name. So I recommend joining that group, posting your question so that we can see exactly which printer you use, what method you use, what issues you're having, because almost everybody is taking a regular printer and they're converting it. Now, if it was an EcoTank printer and you had dye-based ink in it first and you tried to drain it and all that stuff, and now it's not outputting, not very much that anyone can really help with, because it's really hard to get EcoTanks back working. If it is printing, but it's like when you sub, nothing happens, that's because there's too much ink. Some people saw the video. I did a full demonstration of what happens when dye ink mixed with sublimation ink. It basically kills it. You cannot, like, it's not going to actually sublimate. So I did that demonstration live last week or the week before that. Okay. Hello. No questions for me. What other than those? Those are the last questions, because we're about ready to go home. You ready for Grandma to give you a McDonald's?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Can I have some pretzel? So you're not gonna share? You real rude. You want to share with me? Yeah, I don't want it. I can't eat it while I'm on live. Thank you, though. All right, so here, You want to earn your paycheck? Because baby, kids are on payroll. Okay, great tax deduction. You know, when you have a business, put your children on payroll. It's, you know, they get their paycheck. Their paychecks are not taxed. So yeah, definitely savings for your business. Creates great saving funds for your chillins. Take part of it, they get to keep it. The other half goes into savings accounts. So hold this. Okay, hold on. Hold this. Okay, so they can see it. Now say shop.
Shop.
HSINK 365.com for the best sublimation paper in the world. I didn't say to repeat the laugh. Is that a sublimation shirt you have on? I love the V-neck. Would you share? Oh, I pretty much share some of everything. So yes, this is sublimation. I like, my preferred shirts are Team 365 and Sports Tech. They both have a V-neck for ladies. So this is a ladies cut shirt. So this one is Team 365, but I also do Sports Tech as well. Don't rip that. Oh, this is sublimation also. Yeah, this is sublimation.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Do you make that?
No, I didn't make it, but it's sublimation.
Do you put that on my lunchbox?
No, I didn't put it on your lunchbox. I could though. I could make a lunchbox, although this one is cut and sewn, but this is sublimation.
Well, how do you know?
Why are you questioning me? Because I know what sublimation look like when I see sublimation.
But it look real.
What?
It look real.
It's not real.
No.
It is real. It's a real lunchbox.
No, a doctor can't move on my lunchbox.
I know it can't move, but they made it. They basically take the print of your dinosaurs and they press it to white fabric, and then they take the white fabric and then they sew it together to make your dinosaur lunchbox.
Oh, yeah. Why they put this?
How else are you going to close it if they don't put a zipper on it?
That will make my food fall down?
Yes, it's so that your food doesn't fall down.
What is inside my lunchbox?
I don't know all that now. You tripping. Can you sub on black? You absolutely, I know, right? You absolutely cannot sublimate on black. I'll say that, and then people come and say, oh, but you can use Easy Subly. You can sublimate to Glitter HTV. You can sublimate to Econo Sub. That's not sublimating to black. Can you use sublimation ink on a media to put that on a black shirt or a colored shirt? You sure can, but you are not sublimating. Sublimation is not an ink. It's not just a printing thing. It is an actual process. So to say you're going to sublimate to something, that means you're going to put your printed paper directly onto that substrate, heat it up, and it's going to go. You're going to see the image. So you cannot sublimate to black, but you can utilize your sublimation printer to print to Glitter HTV. You can use Econo Sub. You can use Caesar Easy Subly. You can use Econo Satin. This right here. So I'm going to show you. I mean, this was white, but like the back of this is black. But you cannot sub right onto the neoprene. You can't sub directly onto this. But I put Econo Sub fabric. Well, this is a regular one because I can tell because the ends are frayed. So this was a regular sublimation mouse pad. It's just you can't sublimate the back of it, and when you see the full thing, you will think that okay, it was sublimated to black, but it's not. the fabric on the top was white, and then you just press it to that. This is the Econo Sub fabric. So you can kind of see it was white. Okay. So I pressed the design to the Econo Sub fabric, and of course pressed it to the neoprene. Same thing with this one. So you cannot sublimate directly to black, but you can use different topical things like vinyl or like glitter vinyl, Econo Sub, Easy Subly, stuff like that. Okay. Woo. No one will be able to help you like in the chat, because once I end this, you're not going to necessarily see it, and there's a lot of questions. So my recommendation, as I stated, I have no problem helping you try to figure out what happened, but I need more information. Like I said, I need to know what printer you had. Did you put the regular ink in it? What exactly is happening? Is it not printing at all? Is it that when you print and you try and sublimate, it's not transferring it? There's a lot of things that it could be. So the best thing is to, if you're on Facebook, go to our Facebook group, post the question there, put as much detail as possible, and then we can help you from there. If you're not on Facebook, I don't think I've actually made the one for this week, but what I'll do is as soon as I get home, yes, my love. Yes, dear. Okay, give me 1 second. He wants to wash his hands. Hold on. He can't reach the sink. What happened? You too tiny?
Yeah. Not my code. I did want my code.
Okay. All right. Okay, hold on. I gotta get you a paper towel. Here. Uh-oh.
I'm so.
So on Facebook is just my name, Shakia Lavelle. You can send me a friend request. You can follow me there. Our pages aren't really like active. I share my live videos to it. Okay, buddy. But as far as the Facebook groups in the link tree, it has all that there. Honestly speaking, so you can look for that. It'll say, honestly speaking, the best sublimation group on Facebook. And then for silhouette things, it is Silhoueholics Anonymous. But yeah, I definitely need for you to let us know all of that in order to be able to help you, okay? Incredible evening. All right, we're about to get out of here at 6 o'clock. Last call. I'm offering up my assistance to you. Last call for help. But to answer the question, is it easy to learn? Sublimation in of itself, yes, it's going to be all of those small details. And whether or not you want to know them before you run into the issue, or it's going to seem like, oh my God, this is so hard because you're not aware of the issues beforehand. And a lot of people panic once those things come up, feeling like they did something wrong. I've come across a lot of people in groups. Yes, my love.
Can I put it on my head?
No.
Uh-huh.
In groups, and one of their like main things is they go straight to starting with tumblers, and because they don't really know like how to wrap it, or when it comes to the presses, you'll have some people that will say, oh, I just press it one time and I rotate it, mine is perfect. But the information that they're leaving out is they're also using a 30-ounce attachment. This is a 30-ounce tumbler. This is a 20-ounce tumbler. It is much longer, although it was kind of weird to me when people say that, because I don't think I've ever had a 30-ounce that was straight, but I think last time I asked, someone said they do have a 30-ounce that's straight. But if that attachment is tapered, it's definitely not hitting all the points on here, and that's going to be an issue. But let's say if it was a straight one, I had made a post and I was telling them that the ends of a mug press or even a tumbler press, it's not the same temperature. You don't get the same pressure. But if you have a 30-ounce attachment, why did you take that off, sir? Okay, just put it on your hand.
Yeah.
If you have a 30-ounce attachment, your 20-ounce tumbler is nowhere near the end. It's sitting where the heat is the hottest and the pressure is the tightest. So if you're on there, you press it, you rotate it, you're not going to have an issue. Your 30-ounce, you will have an issue. If your tumbler press has a 20-ounce attachment, you have to press it, then you have to move it out, press so put your end like halfway into the tumbler press it, rotate it. Then you have to flip it and put the back end in the middle of the press it, rotate it, press it. But because it's just so many vague answers, oh, I don't have to do that. I just tape. I don't tape around my edges. Oh, that's the problem. Taping around your edges. Well, I tape around mine. I don't have an issue. Sorry about that. Made a mistake and hit it. So then it's like, if you don't want, like they'll be like, oh, don't crease your paper over the edge. That's exactly how I do mine, right? So you can probably see the paper that's there. The paper is there. It's going over, and this is dark colors. Well, there's probably like one little spot there. Let me see. I'll show you this one. And it's going underneath. And I typically don't have any of those ghosting, like those really bad casting and stuff, like voids of color when I'm doing mine. So some people will say, oh, don't do this. But then here comes me saying, that's how I do mine. But it's about the process. What's going to make sublimation easier for you is to learn from the right person, someone that can teach you. For some, I'm too wordy. I give too much detail. It's information overload. I can't deal with her. Her classes are too long. Her videos are too long. I need a short, condensed one. I don't want to see her put it in the oven and she has to wait the 4 minutes. I want to see it wrapped. You put it in the oven. I want to see it done. Some people feel like they cannot learn from me because it's too much information or too long. Whoever you're learning from, as long as like you're watching consistent videos, whether they have a class that's going to break it all down, or if their videos are actually teaching you. Most YouTube videos are just tutorials. They're not telling you the ins and outs, the good, the bad. If this happens, if that happens, if you do this, you do that. You normally don't get all that unless maybe you actually go back and watch their videos, maybe from like a year or two ago, if they've been doing videos for a really long time. Maybe look and see and compare. Don't try it, but look and see, how were they doing their videos when they first start? Like, how were they doing their tumblers when they first started? How were they doing their shirts? Some people will teach you to rip around your shirt. I think that's the weirdest thing ever. All you're doing is creating a wavy line. I teach, just adjust your pressure up, put your butcher paper, repress it again. It takes out that line of demarcation. Everyone teaches differently. So when you're trying to process all of the different methods that people use, that can make sublimation seem very, very hard to understand, to comprehend, because you're getting instructions from a bunch of different people who all do it a bunch of different ways. Whether it's myself or it's someone else, you want to binge watch my YouTube channel, because I've sublimated just about any and everything over on Honestly Speaking. Or if you want to end up, joining our class, like our crash course, we did have a suggestion to kind of have an ongoing program for sublimation. I'm still considering it because that's a lot of commitment to have to do sessions like every week. So I got to figure out what that will look like, because most times people want sessions on the weekend or in the evening. And as you can see, I have a 5-year-old and a soon to be teenager. So trying to figure out what that kind of looks like. Because some people do want that training and kind of spread out that information so they're not getting it in like one 5-hour class. But there's a lot of little variables, and you're going to find so many different opinions and so many different ways of doing it. I would recommend getting a journal, writing down like I would say write it down versus taking a picture or a screenshot of it, because that screenshot ends up getting lost. Write it down somewhere where you're going to go and look at it periodically, compare different methods, what their results are. Are they consistent with showing that method so that you know that it works? Or maybe that one time they did it, it was a fluke that it works. And now that you're using it, like you're trying that same method, it's not working. Try to get the items that they're using. When I do this, it's a lot of people who will use whatever yellow tape they have. Oh, I don't like using that because it stains my tumbler. How can you put it on the bottom without it being yellow? Hey, I don't know what you're using, but the one that I'm using, from honestly speaking, it doesn't stain. So unless you're going to use the same stuff that I'm using, I cannot guarantee your results. I'm just showing you how it works. Did the tumbler come out great? Yeah. Your bottom got yellow, but did everything else work out? And they'd be like, yeah. Okay, so it's just the tape. I suggest changing your tape. So in a nutshell, here, take a screenshot. Here, take a screenshot. You can come back to this. It's at 1 hour and 25 minutes, or just our YouTube channel. It's literally the same exact name. If you just type in this name on Facebook, our group will come up. It's just like this. We are branded everywhere. You search this, you're going to come to our YouTube channel, our website, our Facebook group, our Facebook page, everywhere. So just search this. Of course, the drip stands for an O. So that's what you're searching, honestly speaking. So go ahead, take a screenshot. Ooh, I like that. Someone said, look before you leap. Oh, you wanted to see it? So actually, no, Papa, where's the paper that you had?
Really?
The one I told you to hold up. Where'd you put it?
Right there by your feet.
Okay. No, not that one. Here, grab that. Grab that one for mommy. I don't know what you did with the paper, but grab that. Grab this big one for mommy. Yeah. Boy, it's not that heavy. Give me this, boy.
I'm sorry.
Really, Zani Mani? Oh, you threw it back there. Give Dummy.
Look, not I did. I did it. And then, Mom, can you make me ponytail?
Can I make you a ponytail?
Yeah, I found bow tie.
You found a bow tie. You want a ponytail for school tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it at home. I'm not doing it right now.
Oh.
So there it is if you want to screenshot it. Oh, I see we were on and someone purchased the Essential to Silhouette Studio. Thank you so very much for that. Actually, we got 2 people that signed up for Essential to Silhouette Studio. So look forward to seeing you guys hopefully on Wednesday for the study hall session and Thursday for the actual teaching session. So thank you to the 2 who just signed up for Essentials to Silhouette Studio. We look forward to teaching. Thank you so much for the follow, Kendall. That's how I do mine. Also, just got here. We'll watch the replay. Best training for silhouette. Thank you so much for that. Feed that live feedback. I love all the details. Thank you. It's nice to know that details are appreciated. I do question, because I get excited about it. I don't know if everyone else is excited about this process. When I go, and I've been subbing with this paper for 3 years. I sub and I literally get excited when as if I don't know the colors are going to be popping. I still get super, super excited every time I press something. Like it's still 3 years later, it still amazes me, because when I first got started 5 years ago, I've been doing sublimation for a while. And the paper that I used is right here. The paper that I used before when I was doing like cheer bows, it was the tacky paper. And that comes off like a little bit darker. And it was kind of weird for me when I started printing in-house, because I was so used to that paper, and they're using industrial, like they're using commercial grade printers. So when I'm pressing it, I'm like, ooh, I like this. And their temps they weren't 365, but they were a little less than like 400. Then, thanks to my girl, Ebony Crawford, I was teaching about pigment ink from Cobra Ink. And because I know Epson printers, and of course everyone is converting the Epson printers, the Workforce 76 and 77 series, they were converting them for sublimation. So she's like, hey, I know you don't do sublimation and it's pigment ink, but these folk need some help with these printers because the person over here ain't doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they need help with understanding these printers. Girl, please join this group. So I end up doing that. And one thing led to another, to where I was like really teaching in this group and stuff like that. And I end up having to now print in-house because I knew sublimation. I wasn't trying to print in-house. And that's the thing too. I think someone talked about like knowing what all they need to, like they've been researching it and they want to be able to get everything. You don't need a sublimation printer. There's several places where you can order prints from. We can print for you with our Honesty Speaking paper. My good folk over in South Carolina, Eric and Dee, they print out things. They sell them on their TikTok shop, like different gang sheets and stuff like that. So they print out stuff. You can buy prints or transfers of sublimation, and there'll be size for certain things, and you can just print those out. Like, I mean, you can just press them to shirts, or press them to tumblers, or press them to bags, or press like to totes, press them like to whatever. You can just press them and just get the prints. So because that's how I started. So when I first did it, I'm just like, ooh, like this is kind of, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really care for it. When I first did it, like just printing out on like different paper, because it was so different than the prints I had done before. And I've been doing, I finally figured out some things. But the moment like I got the first like sample pack when we were searching for different companies, and I saw this, and then I end up pressing it by mistake at a lower temp, and the colors were like, I was like, wait a minute now. So I get excited because for years I was using 400 degrees for 60 seconds. It amazes me. And I didn't realize I was sitting so far back in I was looking dark out. I was like way back here. So it looks weird. So I was like so amazed at the results that we get at 365. And I'm impressed every single time I press something. I know some people think like, oh, whatever. No, I'm literally like, whoo, I still can't get over it. 3 years later, I can't get over it. Do I teach Cricut also? I do not teach Cricut. But I have several students who are hybrid. They learn to design in Silhouette Studio, and then they take that over to Cricut Design Space to just be able to cut it. Anything print-wise, I don't necessarily recommend printing from Cricut Design Space, because you cannot print without making too much noise with that. You cannot print without registration marks. Printing from Cricut Design Space. The other thing with printing from Cricut Design Space is in order to be able to print it, you have to flatten it. So unless you did a full copy, group it together, maybe hide it, you flatten that. And you can't go back in and like make certain changes unless you like undo it or you have another version. Whereas with Silhouette Studio, with all of your layers still as layers, you can print from it. If you then want to go and change it, you can do that. So just because you may have a Cricut machine doesn't mean that you cannot learn Silhouette Studio. Oh, heck no. Oh, that's who that was. That's my mama saying that. No, ma'am, I will not on here. Not until it's ready to roll out. No, ma'am. Mother, you know good heck on well, them folk be watching. And they like to take people ideas and run with it like it's theirs. No, ma'am, no ham. If I can't tell my story on Uncle Shay Shay about folks stealing my stuff, I cannot put my stuff out there before I am ready to do it myself. No, ma'am. This morning, I pressed a DTF transfer that I ordered from Amazon. I just found out they have them, so I brought some to try. So you have to remember that Amazon is a marketplace. So Amazon themselves are not selling it. Any one of you guys can. You don't even have to have a DTF printer. You can go order DTF prints from somewhere, and you can now list them. Like then you can list them on Amazon. The same way you see all these people selling screen print transfers via their websites or via TikTok shop, You can create amazing designs in Silhouette Studio. I have tons of videos showing you how to save it and then submit it to the companies for screen print transfers. You can take that, put it on Amazon, and like you don't have, of course, you don't have a screen print machine. You're going to order those screen print transfers and you're going to sell it on Amazon because people like having, ordering it from there, especially if they can get it with Prime or get it for like less when it comes to shipping. Anybody can sell DTF prints, sublimation prints, screen print transfers on Amazon because it's nothing more than a big old marketplace. Yeah, they're pre-designed, ready to press. Yeah. So I can go and, well, not this one because I ain't trying to get sued by Disney, but I can go and take, let's say, this design, right, for this pencil. I can have these ready to go, ready to ship for the pencil, and it's a pre-made transfer. And then I can just, I can sell it that way, like on Amazon. People just buy the sheets. I can take something that's like a full-on design and I can turn it into a DTF print. I'm going to order a whole bunch of them. And as you order them, I'm just going to send them out. Anybody can do it. Only the things that are Amazon choice are by Amazon, sold by Amazon. Everything else, if you look, you're going to end up seeing that shop's name. It's a lot of small, or I like to call them non-corporate businesses that sell on Amazon. You can also set up an account to sell on Walmart. A lot of people think that they're getting stuff from Walmart. I just saw someone, it was like a Stanley Cup and it was like $156. I'm like, it's most likely not actually coming from Walmart or Stanley. It's a third party person who purchased it and now they're trying to upsell it. The majority of the stuff on Walmart.com is actually third party sellers. Yes, if I can't go on Uncle Shay Shay, and tell my story, no ma'am. I started with Cricut because I didn't know about Silhouette Cameo 4. Now I know, so I have a Cricut and a 4. But know that you don't have to get a machine. You do not have to get a Cameo machine in order to use Silhouette Studio. Think of it as just a design software, just like Illustrator, just like Photoshop, like Affinity. It's just a design software. You can use it separate from the machine.
I got my good.
No, I know that I'm saying for anybody else. So a lot of times people will bring up stuff and it's great information for the masses. So it wasn't directly just at you, but just for anyone to know that if you take my classes, you learn how to design, you create some really dope designs, or even if you go to Creative Fabrica and you learn how to set them up as DTF prints, how to resize them. Any one of you guys can make money off of selling transfers, whether it's on your TikTok shop, on Etsy, on your website, on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Anybody can make money selling transfers there. Yep, anybody can.
Yeah.
All right. So are you ready to get out of here, buddy?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys so very much. Our content will be alive. So if you've watched this one, you're probably going to see another one again where I'm going to talk about sublimation. I'm going to talk about designing. Sometimes people don't catch us. Sometimes it's like someone's first time being introduced to us. They don't know that I have almost 10 years, like thousands of videos. So a lot of our content will be based, given that baseline information about sublimation, about just printing in general. This week, we're also going to talk about print and cut. I get so many questions about print and cut. Is there a specific way for it to be set up? That one I am going to send out via email to make sure that, everyone is, who wants to know about that is on. If you're not on our email list, go to our website where it says newsletter, put in your email address so that you can get that email and make sure that you don't miss the notification. So you might get two, the email and then the notification from YouTube. But we're going to talk about print and cut and some of the things that you should know when it comes to print and cut, how files should be set up, like what's the differences in the files. So we are really taking it back to basics. I am utilizing my YouTube channels and Facebook pages to really go back to the basics. Those who want like a little bit more, you're going to end up having to enroll in our classes. Okay. I had the software first, but I decided to get the Cameo. I really love it. I've even designed tablecloths with it because it allows me to cut up to 10 feet. Yeah. So there are, maybe I should kind of compare some of the differences and advantages between Cricut and then like Silhouette Cameo or even the Caesar, because I have all of them. I actually have the StarCraft Solo as well. I have a US cutter. I'll probably do one of those videos as well, just kind of comparing the different cutters, because that's a big one, being able to cut 10 feet long without having what's the one that you can do it, like the Maker 3, I think it is the one that you can use the smart material, or is it the whatever one of those you need, like, in order to use the smart material. And I think you can go longer, with that one. But with the Silhouette and the Caesar one, there's nothing like you can use just regular HTV, regular, whatever, adhesive vinyl, and be able to cut up to 10 feet. So I might do a video on that. Definitely do start watching it and join us for the Zoom sessions. We have, like I said, we have one on Wednesday, study hall. It's based all off your questions. So come prepared with your questions. And then on Thursday is the next refresher session. And we're going to go over text, how to start text, understanding typography, how to install fonts. Stop that. How to install fonts, text to path, cropping patterns or pictures to text. All of those things will be taught on Thursday. Okay. Oh, well, I can't do that one because I'm not sure if I think there's some things different. I don't have one of those. I've never had one of those. I mean, I've had a Cricut before, because I've had the Expression and I also had an Explorer. So those I really, really know. I don't know anything about the Venture, so I could not actually compare that. BWE Computers. Do you have a question? Because I see the wave, or are you just saying hi? Or was there a question? So yeah, if you have the emails, I will set the reminder for Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah. But if you register, so make sure that you go on to the 30-day training. There is a link there. You click on it and then you register for each of the days. That way you'll automatically get the email reminder that the class is coming up. And outside of TKO, I've used I haven't used. I got the samples from TKO. You have Ninja Transfers. You have 613 Originals. You have FM Expressions. You have Super Color. You have Stalls. What's the name? Color Print Max. All of those are DTF and screen print distributors. Oh, just saying hi. All right. But we're really out of here. Until next time, guys, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity. Be incredible. Visit the website. Even if you just get a sample pack, guys, I'm telling you, it's game changing. I know some of you may have already found other papers and you're like, okay, I'm satisfied with this. At least try it out. Get the sample pack. See for yourself. Let us know. We love honest comparison. If there was something where you're like, I like this, but this, we're open to it, because we want to be able to make improvements like in next batches. We work with our manufacturer. They've contacted us because they weren't ones that was really making sheets before. And when we got them, like, I'm just testing. I'm sending feedback to them. Certain formulas and things was like changed up. So of course we want to be able to make improvements to our products if we can, based off of your feedback. So we are always open to feedback. It may not be an immediate change, but as long as we are aware of maybe some of the issues that you guys are having, short of, can we get a logo or something on the back? That costs too much money. I don't think y'all want to pay an extra $2, $3 just for my branding to be on the back. I think that's the only thing we probably won't ever compromise on, is putting the name on the back, because it actually also changes the quality of the paper. So short of that, if you have any suggestions, that's something that we can take to our manufacturer to, suggest some changes and try and make things better. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, the Venture uses the Smart Vinyl and the Maker 3. Oh, okay. I'll be ordering again soon. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. All right, y'all. Until next time. Peace.